In this episode of In Motion, we're going to take a look at the progress Sound Transit is making to bring light rail service between downtown Seattle and the SeaTac Airport by 2009, and then north to the University of Washington. And we'll examine the proposal to expand light rail by 50 additional miles along with other transit expansions as part of a ballot measure going to voters this November. All this and more just ahead on Sound Transit in Motion. Hi, you're watching In Motion, the Sound Transit video magazine, and I'm your host, Ken Harvey. We're in Tukwila, Washington, where work is progressing on the new light rail station located here. Sound Transit is the public agency responsible for regional mass transit services, including light rail, commuter rail, express bus, and other regional transit facilities. And since 1999, people like Esther Day have used Sound Transit's regional mass transit services over 52 million times and found it has made a real difference in their lives.
My name is Esther Day. I live in Tacoma and I work for Public Health, Seattle and King County, downtown Seattle. I got this job approximately 7.5 years ago. And I've been taking the bus ever since, and I love it. If I have to be early at the office, I get to the station and I can take the train if I want, or I can take the bus. The bus is 35-40 minutes. I've got friends in my office who takes them 45 minutes from Seattle to West Seattle, and they drive. And I'm from Seattle to Tacoma, and vice versa. It takes about that long. I have an opportunity to read the paper, visit with my colleagues on the bus or my friends that I've met on the bus, but I also have an opportunity to plan my day. If I want to look out the window and look at the traffic and see what's going on, I can do that. It shocks me that people are still doing this. So you have to weigh those things. What is important to you? We can make our life as easy or as difficult as we want. And quite frankly, when I look out at the traffic, I see people just, bumper to bumper backed up, and I'm wondering, why are you driving? And I'm just thankful that I'm on the bus.
Esther Day's story is another reason why mass transit makes sense for those looking at other options for their long-distance commutes around our region. And if each person on a bus was suddenly placed in their own vehicle and driving alongside you on the freeway, consider how that might affect your commute. The same is true with light rail. Trains can carry a lot more passengers at the same time, up to 800. If only 1 out of every 4 passengers drove, that would equal a lot of cars no longer beside you or in front of you as Link Light Rail trains go by every 6 to 10 minutes. When we return, we'll look at snapshots of progress Sound Transit has made bringing more mass transit facilities and services to our region.
And use it as your ticket to some of the best deals at downtown Seattle shops, theaters, restaurants, and entertainment. Look for Shop, Dine, and Ride decals in the windows of participating merchants and find great savings just waiting for you. Pick up your Shop, Dine, and Ride guide at bus and train information racks, Metro Pass sales outlets, and select merchants around downtown Seattle. Shop, Dine, and Ride discounts are available to any bus, train, or ferry passenger with a valid ticket, transfer, or pass. Go to www.shopdineride.org for more information.
Would you like to receive updates about Sound Transit via email? Subscribe to eWave, Sound Transit's free electronic newsletter. Visit www.soundtransit.org and look for the Email Updates logo, or click Email Alerts at the bottom of any page. Enter your email address and select eWave from the list of choices, and twice a month you'll receive information about projects, services, construction activities, and important events. With Sound Transit's eWave, you'll be the first to know.
Did you know that Sound Transit is partnering with the City of Issaquah and King County Metro Transit to construct the new Issaquah Transit Center and parking garage? Ground was broken for the construction of a garage, which will more than double the amount of parking spaces at the site to over 800 stalls, and the transit center will expand from 1 bus bay to 6.
Sound Transit is investing $28.5 million to expand parking and to improve transit facilities here in Issaquah.
It's clear that there are a lot of people in Issaquah who count on transit to escape the traffic on I-90 and State Route 900.
6 years ago, our city saw the projects that were on the drawing board for Sound Transit. And as you've heard before, there's a great deal of growth in our city. So we knew that we should be part of the Sound Transit projects, and that was why we annexed our city into the Sound Transit District. We can't be happier that we did that.
The work here on the east side and around the region fits in with the Sound Move vision. That vision is coming into focus every month as new stations, transit centers, and expanded bus and train service come online. Sound Transit has completed or started construction on almost 5,000 parking spaces along I-90. These additional spaces allow people to get out of their cars and make connections to transit, taking pressure off the roads and improving mobility along I-90.
The new transit center is scheduled to open in early 2008. Just another example of Sound Transit working to help more people go more places using regional mass transit.
Not only has this already been a banner year, with Sound Transit Regional Services carrying more passengers than ever before, but the public agency is also serving as an economic engine, with its major construction projects pumping up to $1 billion into the local economy this year alone. Sound Transit has been busy continuing to build the facilities needed to make regional transit faster and more dependable. This includes park and ride work on Mercer Island along Interstate 90, transit centers in Newcastle, Redmond, Issaquah, Totem Lake, and North Everett. It also includes freeway bus stations along Interstate 5 and 405 at Mount Lake Terrace, South Everett, Canyon Park, and Totem Lake. Sound Transit's continuing work on track and rail corridor improvements to the Burlington Northern Santa Fe rail line means 2 additional Sounder commuter rail trains between Tacoma and Seattle and 1 additional train between Everett and Seattle beginning September 2007. That's great news for rail commuters who are looking for even more flexibility in their schedules. Sound Transit has also begun construction on the new multimodal Lakewood station in Pierce County. When Sounder commuter rail service reaches this station, there will be new opportunities for travelers and commuters to park or be dropped off and connect to their local bus, regional bus, or Sounder commuter rail from the city of Lakewood. And construction work on a new Sounder commuter rail station in Mukilteo is also one of Sound Transit's goals for 2007. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the progress Sound Transit has been making getting Lightrail ready for the trip between the airport and downtown Seattle.
My name is Pat King, and I take the Sounder train from my home in Tacoma to my office in Seattle. I do that Monday through Friday, and I absolutely love the train. Everything that I plan, every trip that shopping, anything that I do, I take into consideration what the traffic is going to be like. The freeways into Seattle are absolutely horrendous. Where I live in Tacoma to Seattle is unbearable, and I choose to take the Sounder train. I've been doing that since the day it started, and it's just the best way to get to Seattle that I can imagine. Taking public transportation saves not only the environment, but a person's pocketbook. I think the Sounder train is one of those wonderful beginnings, and I hope to see a whole lot more. It's a very peaceful way to get to work and a very peaceful way to get home. I've been taking the bus for many years, and the bus is a great way to go. The thing that I love about the Sounder train is that it gives me 2 golden hours in the day where I can do anything I want to do. I can just chill out, relax, come home prepared to take my big dog for a walk in the park, and I come home refreshed.
Come on, come on. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm not likely to ever get on a bus or a train. I enjoy my car too much. That's not a crime. But days like this, I certainly don't enjoy the drive. Or the cost of gas. Wow. Look at that. All of those lucky people on that Sound Transit bus. And they get to avoid all this traffic. Mass transit? You bet I believe in it. With all the people moving here, the more they jump on Sound Transit's express buses, commuter rail, and light rail, maybe this traffic won't get any worse. Come on. What in the world is slowing down this traffic?
Tacoma's new light rail can take you a lot farther than you might think. I'm a young man who wants to go places, and for someone with plans for the future, it's a great ride. That's why I'm using it as my link to knowledge and to self-improvement. And hey, when you're hungry, it's a perfect ride to good food too. You know, when you think about it, you'll be surprised where Tacoma Link can take you. So come on, let's ride.
If you've been by the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport recently, you've seen the signs that light rail is coming. In fact, light rail vehicles are already being tested in certain areas, and new light rail operators are being trained. If you're walking or driving near rail tracks, always remember to watch for Sound Transit's distinctive-looking light rail trains. There may be testing in progress, and because light rail trains are very quiet, you may not hear it coming. Safety tips for pedestrians, bicyclists, and motorists around light rail vehicle testing and construction is available by going to the Sound Transit website at www.soundtransit.org, and a special brochure on safety can be requested by calling Sound Transit at 1-800-201-4900. Roadway paving and track work in southeast Seattle along the Martin Luther King Jr. Way South Corridor is now completed. Residents, businesses, and motorists are all watching the start of construction for new light rail stations and anticipating the start of light rail service within 2 short years. Between now and 2009, Sound Transit will pursue an aggressive schedule to complete all remaining new light rail stations and begin testing the new light rail between Beacon Hill and the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. A lot has already been accomplished in 2007. The agency's light rail milestones this year includes the completion of the first 4,000-foot tunnel through Beacon Hill, completion of the Pine Street Turnaround Tunnel in downtown Seattle, the light rail bridge crossing over State Route 518 near the airport, completion of road work paving for the light rail line through southeast Seattle, and completion of the light rail bridge across Interstate 5. 2007 also marks 2 other significant light rail events for the region. The first is the reopening of the downtown Seattle Transit Tunnel in September. The tunnel was closed for 2 years while being updated for dual use by buses and Sound Transit's new fleet of light rail trains. The second is the recent announcement of an agreement between Sound Transit and the University of Washington for light rail service between the UW Seattle campus and downtown Seattle. President George W. Bush proposed $10 million for University Link in the federal government budget for 2008. Senator Patty Murray added funding to the federal transportation bill to bring the total number to $30 million for fiscal year 2008. The funding will help Sound Transit complete the final design and continue with property acquisitions on the 3-plus-mile light rail extension from downtown Seattle to the University of Washington with a stop on Capitol Hill. Construction could begin by the end of 2008. The University Link project will be funded by federal grant and existing local tax dollars. University Link has received the Federal Transit Administration's highest possible rating in the competitive federal New Starts funding process. When the light rail connection between the university and downtown Seattle is completed, Sound Transit will have built almost 19 miles of light rail between the university and the airport, with the taxes that regional voters approved in 1996. We'll take a look at the new mass transit expansion package going to the voters this fall after we return.
My name is Pat Langston, and I live in Everett. I work in Bothell, Washington, which is 30 miles from my home. For several months now, I've been commuting with the Sound Transit and my bicycle. I started looking into taking the bus to work, and finally I did. I finally just was out riding the bike around one day and decided tomorrow we'll take the bus. At first I was a little concerned because one of my excuses to not ride the bus was I didn't really know how. I thought it might be a hassle, and I made a quick call to Sound Transit. They were very helpful, very quick. They gave me bus numbers and times and found out that it really was much easier to get to work about the same time or earlier than I used to. I wasn't up to riding 30 miles each way on the bike. That didn't seem fun, but when I put it on the bus and it takes me to work, I have a short little ride, and then at lunchtime, quite often I just bring my own lunch and I'll ride for a fun and get some fresh air, and I get to play on a bicycle. Dollars and cents wise, it really has made good sense for me to get out of the car and get onto the bus. I save half what I used to spend just to get to work. I enjoy riding the bus a lot, more than I thought I would. I enjoy it. It's quite a fun experience every time I get on there.
Did you know Sound Transit reached another milestone for 2006 when it began building the new Canyon Park Freeway station on Interstate 405? It will also provide a new pedestrian bridge connecting bus riders at the freeway stop to their cars at the nearby Canyon Park Park and Ride. This regional transit project will provide a new freeway station on the southbound on-ramp to Interstate 405 from northbound State Route 527.
It's incredibly important to us that the federal government has acknowledged, Sound Transit has acknowledged, and the state of Washington has acknowledged that we need to have transportation infrastructure to support the rapid growth that is occurring in this area. And as the mayor of the city of Bothell, I deeply appreciate this initial investment that I think is an important first step along those roads. I am somebody who was a regular user when I worked in downtown Seattle of Sound Transit Express buses, and I used to get on the Park and Ride down at Bothell-Kaesner and ride that every single day. And I can tell you from personal experience that the reliability of that route that came every half an hour like clockwork, dropped me off right in front of my building, made an enormous difference. And it was one of the primary reasons that I didn't drive every day into downtown Seattle.
When completed, this facility will help shorten bus commutes and make it even easier for more people to ride Sound Transit to more places around the region.
It's about knowing where you want to go and knowing how to get there.
It's about being independent, and it's a free service offered by Puget Sound Transit agencies.
It's for anyone who is over 65 or has a physical or learning disability.
You don't have to wait. Free one-on-one training is available.
Join the thousands of people who use buses and trains every day to get to where they want to go.
Call 1-888-889-6368, or for TTY users, call 1-888-713-6030.
Or visit Sound Transit's website at www.soundtransit.org.
Train safety is important for everyone, but especially for children. You can help keep yourself and others safe when you're near trains by following this safety tip. Remember, never play on railroad bridges or in or around tunnels. There isn't enough room for both you and the train.
You may have been among the thousands of people across our region who provided input to help shape the Sound Transit 2 system expansion plan. That work is now complete. This November, voters in the most densely populated portions of Snohomish, Pierce, and King counties will find a major transportation investment question on the ballot regarding the expansion of regional mass transit and making needed highway and bridge improvements throughout the region. Sound Transit and the Regional Transportation Investment District Planning Committee have been working for over 3 years to develop their portions of the Roads and Transit package of mass transit and roadway investment projects. In fact, they received over 8,000 comments, which helped shape the plan after listening to citizens, business, and community leaders in open houses and public meetings across the region. So what's in the plan? Here's a quick summary of what the public said would offer the greatest benefits. The Roads and Transit Plan includes 50 miles of new light rail, adding service to additional cities including Bellevue, Redmond, Mercer Island, Des Moines, Federal Way, Fife, Tacoma, Roosevelt, Northgate, Shoreline, Mount Lake Terrace, Linwood, and the 164th Street area of Snohomish County. Major improvements to highways of regional significance to address traffic choke points. Some improvements will be on Interstate 5, 405, State Highways 2, 9, 167, 509, and 522, as well as the Mercer Corridor in Seattle. Over 12,000 additional park and ride stalls at regional transit centers and train stations, including locations such as Mukilteo, Edmonds, Tukwila, Burien, Auburn, Sumner, Marysville, Mill Creek, and Puyallup. These new parking facilities will make it even easier to park and jump on board Sounder Commuter Rail and Regional Express services. New high-occupancy vehicle lanes in travel corridors, such as Interstate 90, State Route 520, and 167, so travelers have more options to avoid traffic congestion. Bridge replacements and other safety projects in key locations, such as State Route 520, Highway 9, and the South Park Bridge. The plan also includes funding for expanding service on Sound Transit's Express regional bus system. The cost of these investments to make the region more mobile by expanding the mass transit system and improving the regional roads and bridges in the Roads and Transit Plan is $17.8 billion in 2006 year dollars. The cost will be paid by increasing the region's sales tax by 0.6%, meaning an additional 6 cents on each $10 purchase, and raising car tab taxes by 0.8%, meaning $80 per $10,000 of a vehicle's value.
When it comes to expanding the region's mass transit system and making the most significant investment in roads in the last 50 years, there's a lot to consider, and there's a lot of information available.
If you would like more information about specific roads improvements proposed in the Roads and Transit Plan, you can go to www.roadsandtransit.org. And if you'd like more information about specific projects to expand the region's mass transit system under the Sound Transit 2 portion of the Roads and Transit Plan, you can find it at www.soundtransit.org/ST2. This has only been a quick summary of the projects contained in the Roads and Transit Plan, which will be on the ballot this November. More detailed information on the Sound Transit 2, Making Connections, the Regional Transit System Plan for Central Puget Sound, and the Blueprint for Progress from the Regional Transportation Investment District Planning Committee is available through any of the following sources. Visit your local public library. Visit the websites listed. Email Sound Transit and request a copy of the Sound Transit 2 plan at soundtransit2@soundtransit.org or call toll-free at 1-800-201-4900 during regular business hours to have one mailed to you, or check your voter information pamphlet when you receive one.
We end today's program celebrating Sound Transit's regional mass transit services, its progress building light rail between downtown Seattle and the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, and its plans to expand travel options throughout the region. Thanks for watching.